In a surprising twist in the Horn of Africa's volatile political landscape, recent developments suggest a burgeoning relationship between Eritrea and a faction of the Tigray People's Liberation Front, marking a significant departure from decades of enmity. This evolving dynamic, rooted in tactical opportunism and regional power plays, threatens to reshape alliances, exacerbate tensions, and challenge Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's federal government. The relationship between Eritrea and the TPLF has historically been one of bitter hostility, stemming from ideological differences and territorial disputes. The 1998 to 2000 Ethiopia-Eritrea border war, fought under TPLF-dominated Ethiopian leadership, left deep scars, with Eritrea's President Isaias Afwerki harboring a long-standing grudge against the TPLF. During the 2020 to 2022 Tigray War, Eritrean forces allied with Abiy's federal government to crush the TPLF, committing atrocities that further entrenched mutual animosity. However, the TPLF's internal fracture in 2024 has created an opening for Eritrea to exploit. The rift between TPLF chairman Debretsion Gebremichael and Getachew Reda, the former interim president of Tigray's administration, centers on disagreements over the Pretoria Agreement's implementation and accusations of betraying Tigrayan interests. Debretsion's faction, which seized key towns like Adigra in March 2025, has reportedly engaged with Eritrea. Eritrea's motivations are tactical. Isaias Afwerki, wary of Ethiopia's growing assertiveness under Abiy, particularly over Red Sea access, sees a weakened and divided TPLF as a tool to destabilize Ethiopia. By aligning with Debretsion's faction, Eritrea aims to create a buffer against Addis Ababa, potentially using Tigray as a proxy battleground to weaken Abiy's federal authority, with some describing Eritrea's strategy as manipulating the TPLF to keep conflict confined to Tigray rather than Eritrean soil. For the TPLF, this alignment is a desperate bid for survival. Debretsion's faction, marginalized by Abiy's appointment of Tadesse Woreda as Tigray's interim leader in April 2025, faces dwindling influence. Eritrea's support, including alleged intelligence assistance during the March 2025 coup in Tigray, offers military and political leverage against both the federal government and rival TPLF factions. Yet this comes at a cost. Aligning with a historical foe risks alienating Tigrayans and legitimizing Eritrea's lingering presence in Tigray, where its forces have not fully withdrawn despite the Pretoria Agreement. The Eritrea-TPLF rapprochement threatens to destabilize the Horn of Africa, a region already grappling with conflicts in Sudan, Somalia, and Ethiopia's Amhara and Oromia regions. A key flashpoint is the escalating Ethiopia-Eritrea rivalry over Red Sea access. Abiy's insistence on securing a port, particularly Eritrea's Assab, has provoked Asmara, with Eritrea's information minister dismissing Ethiopia's ambitions as misguided. Eritrea's mobilization in February 2025 and Ethiopia's troop deployments near their shared border signal a dangerous brinkmanship. Tigray's strategic location bordering Eritrea makes it a potential theater for proxy conflict. Eritrea's alleged support for Debretsion's faction and Amhara rebels could ignite a multi-front war, drawing in regional actors. The African Union and Western diplomats warn of a repeat of the 1998 to 2000 border war, which could destabilize the Horn further, exacerbate humanitarian crises, and disrupt Red Sea trade routes. Moreover, Eritrea's exclusion from the Pretoria Agreement has fueled its desire to undermine the peace process, potentially prolonging Tigray's instability. Posts on X highlight alarm over this reckless alliance, with some framing it as a pact between authoritarian cliques that could erase Tigray's cultural and political identity. Others see it as Eritrea's attempt to isolate Abiy by aligning with Tigray, Amhara, and other dissident groups, potentially reshaping regional alliances. Abiy's federal government faces a precarious balancing act. His appointment of Tadesso Wareda, a neutral figure with TPLF roots, aims to stabilize Tigray and diffuse intra-TPLF tensions. However, this move risks alienating Debretion's faction, pushing it closer to Eritrea. Abiy's public rejection of war with Eritrea in March 2025 reflects an attempt to de-escalate, but his rhetoric on sea access as an existential issue keeps tensions high. The Eritrea TPLF dynamic undermines Abiy's narrative of national unity. By engaging with Eritrea, Debretion's faction challenges the federal government's authority, exposing Abiy's limited control over Tigray. The TPLF's suspension by Ethiopia's election board in February 2025 further weakens its legal standing, potentially emboldening dissident factions to seek external allies. Abiy's broader regional challenges compound the issue. Conflicts in Amhara and Oromia stretch Ethiopia's military, limiting its ability to counter Eritrean interference. Critics argue Abiy's divide-and-rule strategy, keeping the TPLF weak, has backfired, creating space for Eritrea to exploit Tigray's divisions. If Eritrea succeeds in turning Tigray into a front line, Abiy risks losing credibility domestically and internationally, tarnishing his 2019 Nobel Peace Prize legacy.